Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadguru. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. So we continue our reading of the Sannyas Yoga, the 5th Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and today we are going to read the 12th Shloka. Yesterday, in our previous reading, Sri Krishna in the 11th Shloka, he described how a yogi performs his work, not abandons the work. And in this sannyasa yoga, Sri Krishna is explaining to us what real sannyasa is. Real renunciation is not running away from the work, but giving up that attachment, giving up that focus on the fruits of action, that desire. That is the key element while doing the work. Work one must do. And that's what Sri Krishna has all along been telling Arjuna. Don't give up the work. Don't say, I'm not going to fight. Fight you must. But Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna how he has to fight this war of Kurukshetra. And to all of us, Sri Krishna is telling how we have to fight this worldly life that we are leading. This life we are leading. There will be ups and downs, there will be so many issues and problems and uncomfortable situations. That doesn't mean we have to run away, we have to renounce the work and go in solitude, suddenly abandoning all the work. No, Sri Krishna says work you must, but this is how you must work. Then you won't be tempted by any of the sins, by any of the evils, by any of the vices. So Sri Krishna says in the 11th shloka that we had read in our previous reading, the yogi, he works with all his resources available. And what are the resources? Kaya, Manasa, Buddhi, the body, the mind, and the intellect. He utilizes all these three while performing his day-to-day activities. Whatever work has fallen into his lap, he does everything involving these attributes. And the senses, the body, the mind, the intellect, and the senses. Without these, we cannot work at all. So whatever resources are available, the person, the yogi, makes use of these resources. But how he does that? Sangam tyaktvā, by abandoning the attachment to the work. That is the key point. There is no harm in doing the work. Work must be done. Work must be done utilizing all the available resources that we have, the body, mind, intellect, and the senses. But Sangam tyaktvā, that is the key element that Sri Krishna has told us in the 11th shloka. And with the Sangam tyaktvā, with abandoning the attachment, that Atma-shuddhi, for the purification of the self. This is what it leads. The freedom from attachment, abandoning the attachment, leads us to the purification of the self while even doing this karma. Now in the 12th shloka, Sri Krishna compares the two kind of people. One who is a yuktaḥ, who is a yogi, and another one who doesn't follow these rules of the karma yoga. So Sri Krishna says, yuktaḥ karma-phalaṁ tyaktvā śhāntim āpnoti naiṣhṭhikīm ayuktaḥ kāma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. Yuktaḥ karma-phalaṁ tyaktvā. Again Sri Krishna is telling about tyaktvā karma-phalaṁ. That is so important. In the previous shloka he has told us tyaktvā sangam, attachment, and here also he is telling us tyaktvā karma-phalaṁ, abandon the desire from the fruit. The yogis, they work with abandoning the desire for fruits of action. Yuktaḥ karma-phala tyaktvā śhāntim āpnoti naiṣhṭhikīm. Naiṣhṭhikīm is the final. Finally, what happens? Śhāntim āpnoti. They attain the ultimate peace. They attain the divine peace by abandoning the desire for fruits of karma. That is what happens with the yogi. It is eternal peace that they enjoy. It is the absolute bliss that they enjoy. Absolute bliss, which is very much the part and parcel of that akhanda Satchidananda Brahman. Ananda. So they enjoy, these people, the yogis, while performing the work, not abandoning it while they do all the work, but they abandon the desire for fruit. And by abandoning the desire for the fruit of action, they attain the ultimate peace. Śhāntim āpnoti. But what happens to ayuktaḥ? What happens to people who are not following this path of karma yoga, who are ayuktaḥ is not united with, not the yogi, is not the spirit of doing the work for the work's sake. They have some ulterior motive in doing the work. What happens with these kind of ayuktas? The ayuktaḥ karma-kāreṇa phale sakto nibadhyate. The people who are non-yogis, impelled by desire, that is kāma-kāreṇa phale, the fruit of action, driven by the fruit of action, driven by the desire of getting the fruit of action in their favor. Whether it is good or bad, they don't know. While doing the karma, they don't know. But they have the desire for getting this fruit of action. And what happens to them? They remain attached to the fruit. Constantly while working, oh, what I am going to get in return? I am doing this karma, but what am I going to get in return? That in return element, that desire for the fruit of action is what keeps them at a lower plane. They can never progress on the spiritual path. They can never progress towards enlightenment. They can never progress towards attaining the Brahma Jnana, the knowledge that Sri Krishna was telling, that you can get through this path of action. That they can never attain, because their entire focus is only on what I am going to get in return. Abandoning the fruit of action, the yogi attains peace born of steadfastness. He is so much steadfast by merging the self in the self, abandoning the fruit of desire for the fruit of action. The yogi, the steadfast, with the steadfast mind, having merged the mind in the self, he is not bothered what is going to be the outcome. Whatever is the outcome, I am doing the Lord's work. Lord will take the outcome, will give the outcome, whatever it is. Why should I worry? And that why should I worry, that attitude gives him the ultimate peace. Then he gets the parama shanti. but impelled by desire. The non-yogi, what happens with him? Impelled by desire. He is bound. He is always bound. Nibadhyate. He is bound with action. He is bound with the desire of the fruit. He is attached to the fruit of action. So that is the difference between yuktaḥ, the united one, a well-poised, a well-balanced person who has understood the real way of doing, performing a karma, and ayuktaḥ, a person who has not understood the way of working, but instead his focus is only on what I am going to get. Performance of karma is common to both the yogi and the non-yogi. Both have to perform karma. Actions both have to do. Work both have to do. But the difference lies in their disposition. The difference lies in the attitude. Difference lies in the way they work. The feeling of agency of action is no more in the yogi. Yogi doesn't have, I'm doing it. No. The yogi, like Sri Ramakrishna had told the other day in that teaching, that the real yogi will always have this in his mind: I am just an instrument. Whatever work Lord has given me, I am doing it, but I am not the doer. It is the Lord's work. I am just an instrument. The ownership of the agency is not in the mind of the yogi. Whatever takes place through his instrumentality is the Lord's work. Whatever way he is, whatever work he may be involved in, he may be involved in working on some wonderful project. He may be involved in working as a teacher, as a doctor, whatever profession he has chosen himself or Lord has given him to perform, whichever profession. He, that yogi, with the yukta mind, is performing it as an instrument of the Lord. That's it. He is not the doer. His steadfastness consists of his mind being released from work and the mind being immersed in the Lord even while doing the work. Every moment that I am doing some work, I am only remembering the Lord. It is the Lord's work. I am an instrument in his hand. Let him use me the way he wants. Or if it is the Divine Mother, let her use me the way she wants. Why should I worry? In this state of mind, there is no anxiety. There is calmness. The mind itself gets steadily purified and with no anxiety whether I'm doing it the right way, whether I'm going to get this thing after completing this project. No, that anxiety, that worry, that concern is not there because we are not the doer at all. So the moment that anxiety is not there, there is the peace automatically sets in. And once that peace sets into us while doing the work, automatically the performance of the action, it goes on as per the Lord's will. And when that happens, automatically it leads to our self-purification. We are not tempted by any of the sins, by any of the evils. On the other hand, the non-yogis, they get entangled in work and the anxiety is always on the increase. Since they get entangled in the work, thinking that everything is at stake while doing this work because they are doing it. With that thing, their mind is always restless. They are always anxious. They are always worried. And with all these negative emotions swelling up inside, they can never do the work to the expected levels, to what it is supposed to do. And they can never get any peace of mind under those circumstances. But why be anxious? Why be worried when the Lord is getting it done through us? When we are just instruments, let Lord get it done the way He wants, or let Mother get it done the way she wants. let us always doing any work, just remember the Lord, remember the Divine Mother, and remain as their child, remain as their servants, remain as their instruments, as their puppets. So that is what Sri Krishna now tells us, that the difference between the yukta and ayukta, the difference between one with a poised attitude, one with the steadfast attitude, and one who is not a yogi at all, who is not united in his aspect of doing the work. Both are doing the work using body, mind, intellect, and senses. But the yogi's utilization of the resources is far more in a positive sense. Whereas the non-yogi, he also utilizing the same resources, but to absolutely negative, with the negative attitude, attached to the work and attached to the fruits of action, karma-phalaṁ. So those kind of the clear-cut differences Sri Krishna has explained to us in this 12th shloka of the Sannyasa Yoga, the 5th adhyay of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That was our reading for the day. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Rama Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swami.